So a very good morning to all. I'm here to present my pre-paper on RINS protocol for retinal vein occlusion, and I don't have any financial disclosure. So as we all know that retinal vein occlusion is the second most common retinal vascular disorder after diabetic retinopathy, and the pivotal trials like Geneva, Horizon, Copernicus have shown the efficacy of monotherapy. However, the mean number of injections which may be given, may be required over a period of a year, may be as high as 9 injections. So the lacuna knowledge is that although there are several papers describing the efficacy of monotherapy as well as some papers describing the combination therapy, there is no paper or there is no study which has described phage combination therapy from our setting. And hence the aim of the study was to describe a novel phage combination therapy for retinal vein occlusion related macular edema using the RINS protocol, which stands for ranibizumab injection and steroid implant Ozurdex with laser photocoagulation, aiming to standardize and a local treatment strategy. So it was a retrospective interventional single center case series. The study period was between November 2018 to Feb 2020 with a strict exclusion and inclusion criteria. Coming on to the RINS protocol, it stands for ranibizumab injection and steroid implant Ozurdex with laser photocoagulation. And once the patient was diagnosed with a retinal vein occlusion-related macular edema, and on OCT there was a macular edema, the patient was subjected to preloading doses of either Accentrix or Razumab as per the patient's choice. And following the last injection at 3 months, if there was a rebound macular edema, then the patient was subjected to angiography. And if on angiography there was presence of retinal ischemia, then the laser was given to non-perfused retina along with repeat anti-VEGF injection. If there was no retinal ischemia in presence of rebound edema, then the patient was subjected to DEX implant. However, the macula was dry following 3 loading doses. Then the patient was followed up 2 monthly, and following angiography, if there was a retinal ischemia, then just the laser was done. So this is the flow chart of the RINS protocol. The primary outcome measure was change in BCV and CMT, and the secondary outcome measures were the frequency of injections and intervals of adjunctive other adjunctive therapies. There were 122 eyes of 120 patients with a mean age of 60.52 years. Bilateral involvement was present in 4 eyes of 2 patients. 67% of the cases were of BRVO, of which 40% cases were of macular BRVO. These are the representative images of various type of retinal vein occlusion studied using this protocol. So this is a case of bilateral non-ischemic CRVO. Another case which had simultaneous presentation with IT BRVO and macular BRVO. Coming on to the results, the mean number of injections which was given was 3.78 over a period of 8.21. And we can see that the visual acuity recovered from 0.78 to 0.38, which was significant. And the central macular thickness decreased from 598 to 249 microns, which was again significant. Another representative image, which is showing very good recovery with just 3 loading doses. And if we compare the Accentrix versus the Razumab arm, then 63 eyes were there in Accentrix and 69 eyes were given Razumab. However, the visual acuity, which improved significantly in both arms, and it was not statistically significant difference was found between the two. Again, the mean central macular thickness decrease was statistically was good to a good extent in both the arms. And if we can see here that if we compare BRVO versus CRVO, then the visual acuity gain was better in BRVO compared to CRVO. However, such a difference was not found between BRVO, CRVO, or hemi-CRVO. As we can see, the central macular thickness recovery was very good in both the arms, in all the 3 types of. And when on angiography, if the macular ischemia was not present in 58 eyes with 81 eyes showing rebound edema, so they were given DEX implant, and 7 eyes received 2 DEX implants. And we can see that following the DEX implant, the visual acuity again recovered from 0.73 to 0.5, and with a decrease in central macular thickness from 474 to 249. And it was given at one DEX implant was given at a mean of 4.9 months. So this is a case where there was no ischemia, there was a rebound edema, and DEX implant showed made a very good recovery. And these were the cases where 2 DEX implant was given, and again the visual acuity recovered. The central macular thickness following the rebound edema recovered from 607, 560 to 322. And these we can see here that there was at 5 months and 8 months there was rebound edema with no ischemia, and hence 2 DEX implants were given. Then coming on to the ischemic arm, which was present in 23 eyes of the 81 eyes with rebound edema, and the laser was given to 23 eyes with ischemia, and 49 received 1 additional injection, 9 eyes received 2 additional injection at a mean of 4.56 months, and we can see that visual acuity recovered and the central macular thickness also decreased with laser and repeat anti-VEGF injection. And we can see here on ultrawide field fundus fluorescence angiography at 5 months with rebound edema there was a retinal ischemia, and hence the laser was done. And another representative case, which is again showing overall the total number of lasers were 79, and this was just only laser was done, no ribbon edema. So coming on to the conclusion, the stage combination therapy shows 3.8 anti-VEGF injection and Vertex implant recovered the visual acuity by 85%, 64% at 6/12 or better, and 80% achieved completely dry fovea. Hence, this study provides a guidance on pragmatic combination treatment for RVO and shares actual real-world experience, including subgroup analysis. Thank
you. Thank you, Kshitij, for an excellent presentation and highlighting the role of wide field imaging. Any imaging platform of choice when you want to look into these parameters?
Ideally, it should be an ultra-wide field angiography, and since at Disha, I'm working with Disha, and we are lucky that we are having ultra-wide field fundus fluorescent angiography, so we make a very good use of it, particularly for these RVO patients following preloading doses. We do angiography quite a lot with using the Optos angiography platform.
What about just with OCTA,
Yeah, OCTA we just recently acquired. So I guess, but again, OCTA would rather, focus more on the macular ischemia rather than the peripheral ischemia. So latest machines are coming which can show ultra wide field Opta. But yeah, I think it would be, we can probably do with montage images. Maybe we can come up with an arm comparing Opta versus.
That's what I wanted to say. Like montage is, we can really look into that. Dr. Parth, you want to add something, please?
Definitely one thing, like when you did laser, and if there was a fluid there at macula, what you did? First injection or laser? If you find a shape, you wanted to do laser.
I did not do laser to the macula. We did laser to the peripheral retinal ischemic area to decrease the anti VEGF component, and then we after post laser at 1 week or 2 weeks we entered the eye with the injection. So I did not do laser for the macular edema. We did laser mainly for the retinal ischemia, that is peripheral ischemia.
Even though macular edema was there, you went ahead with laser or not? That's what I'm asking.
No, we did not do laser, but mainly, I mean, we maintained at least 1,000 microns away from the fovea. We maintained a distance of that while doing laser to the peripheral ischemia.
Okay, thank you.